Welcome back to the channel Rare Coins Collections, where we explore the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins that can be hiding in plain sight. Today, we're going to talk about one of the most iconic coins in American history, the United States 1-cent Lincoln penny from 1945. This little coin might just look like another penny in your pocket, but believe it or not, it could be worth a small fortune. So, stick with us as we uncover the history, rarity, and value of this 1945 Lincoln penny, and stay tuned to find out how much it could be worth today. Let's start with a little bit of history. The Lincoln penny, first issued in 1909, was designed by the famous sculptor Victor David Brenner. The coin features the profile of President Abraham Lincoln, one of the most beloved leaders in American history. Over the years, the Lincoln penny has become a symbol of the country's commitment to honoring its past while embracing its future. It has also gone through several design changes, but one of the most significant years for the Lincoln penny is, without a doubt, 1945.1945 was a monumental year in world history. It marked the end of World War II, a time of relief and rebuilding for much of the world, including the United States. As the country transitioned from wartime to peacetime, the production of coins was slowly ramping back up. The 1945 Lincoln penny, although widely circulated, holds a special place in the hearts of collectors because of a few unique characteristics that set it apart from other pennies. One of the things that makes the 1945 Lincoln penny so interesting is its composition. During the war, the U.S. Mint started producing coins using zinc-coated steel rather than the traditional copper due to the scarcity of metals needed for the war effort. However, by 1945, copper was back in production, and the pennies returned to their classic copper composition. This transition adds a layer of historical significance to the 1945 Lincoln penny. It's a reminder of the wartime years and the recovery that followed. Now, let's talk about the design of the coin. On the obverse, you'll see the classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln. This image has remained unchanged for over a century, making the Lincoln penny one of the most recognizable coins in the world. On the reverse side of the 1945 penny, you'll find the iconic wheat ears, which are featured on the back of the coin for pennies minted between 1909 and 1958. The wheat design symbolizes abundance and prosperity, which was particularly meaningful during the post-war period when the U.S. was working towards economic recovery. But what really sets the 1945 Lincoln penny apart from the rest? It's all about its rarity and condition. While millions of these pennies were minted, finding one in exceptional, uncirculated condition is becoming increasingly rare. Most of the 1945 pennies that are still in circulation have been heavily worn down over the decades, making high-quality examples a sought-after treasure for coin collectors. If you're lucky enough to find a 1945 Lincoln penny in pristine condition, you could be holding onto a valuable piece of history. Coins that have been well preserved, with minimal wear and no signs of corrosion or damage, can be worth far more than their face value. In fact, it's not uncommon for high-quality 1945 Lincoln pennies to fetch impressive prices at auction or from collectors. In addition to the regular 1945 pennies, there are certain rarities to look out for, such as the 1945 steel penny. This is a variation that was accidentally produced during the transition from steel back to copper coins. These error coins are highly prized by collectors due to their scarcity and the story behind their creation. If you happen to come across one of these error coins, it could be worth a lot more than a standard penny, so it's definitely worth keeping an eye out. So, how much could your 1945 Lincoln penny be worth? If you happen to have one in mint or near mint condition, the value of the coin can soar. In fact, depending on its quality, your 1945 Lincoln penny could be worth up to $43,000. That's right, $43,000 for a single 1945 Lincoln penny. It's amazing how a coin that once had a value of just 1 cent could appreciate so dramatically over time. If you happen to find one of these rare coins, or if you already own one, it might be worth getting it professionally graded and appraised. You just never know what you might be sitting on. So, what should you do if you think you have a valuable 1945 Lincoln penny? First, check its condition closely. Coins that are well preserved, with sharp details and no noticeable damage, are the ones that will fetch the highest prices. If you're unsure about the condition or authenticity of your coin, it's always a good idea to have it examined by a professional coin grader. They can tell you exactly what it's worth and whether it's a rare gem or just a regular penny. In the world of coin collecting, the 1945 Lincoln penny is one of those coins that blends history, rarity, and a bit of luck. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, it's always exciting to think about the possibility of discovering a valuable piece of history hiding in your pocket change. So, the next time you come across a 1945 Lincoln penny, take a closer look. It might just be worth more than you think. Today, we're diving into the world of one of America's most famous coins, the United States 1-cent Lincoln penny from 1954. You might think that a penny from the 1950s wouldn't be all that exciting, but trust me, this coin has a story and value that will surprise you. If you're wondering whether you might be holding on to a small fortune, you'll want to stick around until the end because we'll reveal just how much this 1954 Lincoln penny could be worth today. The Lincoln penny, first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, has long been an iconic symbol of American history. Over the years, it has gone through various changes, but the design of Lincoln's portrait and the iconic wheat ears on the reverse remained consistent for decades. The 1954 Lincoln penny, while often found in circulation, has unique characteristics that make it stand out to collectors. In the 1950s, America was in the midst of post-war prosperity, and the economy was booming. However, this period also saw changes in the production and design of U.S. coins, making certain years, like 1954, important for collectors. One of the key features of the 1954 Lincoln penny is its composition. The United States Mint continued to produce pennies using 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc during this time, which gives the 1954 penny its classic reddish-brown color. This was before the Mint began experimenting with different metals for coinage in the 1980s, so the 1954 penny remains one of the last coins made with this particular copper alloy. This historical aspect adds to the appeal of the coin and why many collectors are eager to add it to their collection. Looking at the design of the coin, the obverse side features the well-known bust of President Abraham Lincoln, a reminder of the man who led the nation through its most turbulent period. The reverse side of the coin still features the two wheat ears, a design that was first introduced in 1909 and remained in place until 1958. These wheat ears are a symbol of abundance and prosperity, which was particularly relevant in the 1950s, when the U.S. was experiencing tremendous growth and success following World War II. While the 1954 Lincoln penny was produced in large quantities, some factors make certain coins from that year more valuable than others. Condition is crucial in determining the worth of any coin, and the 1954 penny is no exception. Most of the pennies from that year were widely circulated, meaning many have suffered from wear and tear, such as scratches, discoloration, or other signs of age. The value of a 1954 penny increases significantly if it is in uncirculated condition, meaning it hasn't been used in daily transactions and has been well preserved. But what about rare variations? Well, like many other years, the 1954 Lincoln penny also saw some interesting variations, particularly in the minting process. There were different versions of the coin minted at various U.S. mint facilities, and some of these can be more valuable than others. For example, the 1954 penny minted in Philadelphia, which doesn't have a mint mark, can have slight variations in its appearance depending on its specific striking process. If you find one with distinct characteristics, such as an unusual die crack or a minor minting error, these are highly sought after by collectors, as they are unique pieces with a story to tell. Another intriguing aspect of the 1954 penny is the possibility of finding one that has been improperly struck or features an error in the design. Coins with minting errors are rare and often command higher prices in the market. These types of coins have small flaws, like double strikes, off-center prints, or die breaks, which make them stand out from the rest. For collectors, these imperfections can add significant value to the coin because they represent something unusual and different from the mass-produced examples. So, if you happen to spot a 1954 Lincoln penny with a minting error, you could be holding onto a truly unique and valuable item. Now, you may be wondering just how much a 1954 Lincoln penny could be worth. Well, if you're lucky enough to have one in pristine, uncirculated condition, it could be worth much more than just 1 cent. Some of these coins, particularly those with minimal wear and in near-perfect condition, have sold for hundreds of dollars at auction. But here's where it gets really interesting. If your 1954 Lincoln penny has a rare minting error or is part of a small production run, it could be worth an astonishing amount more. Are you ready for the reveal? If you happen to have an ultra-rare, high-grade 1954 Lincoln penny, it could be worth as much as $46,000. Yes, you heard that right, $46,000 for a single 1954 penny. It's incredible how a coin that was once worth only 1 cent could skyrocket in value over the years, especially when it's in perfect condition or features an error that makes it a true rarity in the world of coin collecting. So, how can you check if you have one of these valuable 1954 pennies? Start by inspecting the condition of your coin. Look for any signs of wear, discoloration, or scratches. If the coin appears well preserved with sharp, clear details, it may be worth more than you think. You can also check for any potential minting errors or unusual features that could set your coin apart from the rest. If you're not sure about the value or condition of your coin, it's always a good idea to have it professionally graded by a coin expert. The 1954 Lincoln penny is just one of many examples of how small, everyday items can hold significant value over time. Whether you're a seasoned collector or someone who just enjoys searching through your spare change, it's always exciting to discover the hidden gems that could be worth a fortune. So, the next time you come across a 1954 Lincoln penny, take a moment to examine it carefully. You might just have a valuable piece of history in your hands. Today, we're diving into the incredible story of the 1944 Lincoln penny, a coin that might just surprise you with how much it's worth. You might be thinking, how valuable can a penny from 1944 really be? Well, stick around, because we're about to reveal how this humble 1-cent coin could be worth a small fortune, and it might be sitting right under your nose. First, let's take a look at the historical significance of the 1944 Lincoln penny. This coin was minted during a time of great change and turmoil. The United States was in the midst of World War II. The war had a significant impact on the U.S. economy and the production of coins, especially when it came to metals used in manufacturing. During the war, there was a shortage of copper, as the metal was being used for military purposes. As a result, the U.S. Mint decided to experiment with different materials to ensure they had enough metal to continue producing coins. In 1943, instead of the usual copper, pennies were made from zinc-coated steel to conserve copper for the war effort. However, by 1944, the U.S. Mint returned to using copper for pennies, but with a twist. To further conserve copper, the Mint used scrap metal from artillery shells that had been fired during the war. This gave the 1944 Lincoln penny a unique place in history, as it was made from materials directly tied to the wartime efforts of the United States. The design of the 1944 penny follows the familiar format of the Lincoln penny, which had been in circulation since 1909. The obverse side of the coin features the profile of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, whose leadership during the Civil War earned him a place on the penny. The reverse side of the coin features the iconic wheat ears, a symbol of prosperity and abundance. This wheat design was used on pennies from 1909 to 1958, making the 1944 penny a piece of history. But what sets the 1944 Lincoln penny apart from other pennies is its rarity and the unique circumstances under which it was minted. As I mentioned earlier, the copper for these pennies was sourced from spent artillery shells, which makes these coins particularly special. Additionally, the minting process during this time wasn't flawless, and a few minor errors crept into the production, making certain 1944 pennies even more valuable to collectors. Now, let's talk about the condition of these coins. Most pennies from 1944 that you come across today have been in circulation for decades, and you'll likely find them worn down from years of use. However, the value of a 1944 Lincoln penny increases dramatically if it's in uncirculated or mint condition. A well-preserved penny that shows no signs of wear and retains its original shine can be worth hundreds, or even thousands, of dollars. So, if you happen to stumble upon one of these pennies that has been kept in great condition, it could be a gold mine. But wait, there's more to this story. There are some special 1944 Lincoln pennies that are worth even more than the typical example. You see, while the 1944 penny was mostly minted in Philadelphia, there were a few rare versions made at the Denver and San Francisco mints. These coins feature a small mint mark, D for Denver and an S for San Francisco, next to Lincoln's shoulder, making them more sought after by collectors. However, it's not just the mint mark that can make a 1944 penny valuable. Some rare varieties of the 1944 penny were struck with incorrect metals. This could happen if a penny was accidentally made with leftover zinc-coated steel from the previous year's production. These error coins, especially those that feature the steel composition of 1943, are considered incredibly rare and highly prized by collectors. So, how much could your 1944 Lincoln penny be worth? If you happen to have a 1944 penny in mint or near mint condition, it could already be worth quite a bit more than its face value. However, if you find a rare error coin, such as a 1944 steel penny or a 1944 penny from a particular mint in exceptional condition, you might be holding on to something really special. In fact, depending on the condition and rarity of the coin, your 1944 Lincoln penny could be worth an astounding $51,000. Yes, you heard that right, $51,000 for a single 1944 Lincoln penny. It's amazing how a coin that was once worth just 1 cent can become a highly sought-after collectible, especially if it's in exceptional condition or features a rare minting error. If you find a 1944 penny in your collection, or if you happen to spot one while going through your change, it's definitely worth checking out its condition and potential rarity. If you think you have a valuable 1944 penny, here are a few things to look for. First, examine the condition of the coin. If it's worn or damaged, it might not be worth as much, but if it's in excellent shape, it could command a premium price. Next, check the mint mark. If you have a 1944 penny with a mint mark, that could make it more valuable. Finally, be on the lookout for any minting errors, such as the accidental steel pennies, as these are incredibly rare and can make your coin worth a lot more than a typical 1944 penny. The 1944 Lincoln penny is a great example of how history, rarity, and condition can combine to create a truly valuable coin. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or someone who enjoys the thrill of discovering hidden treasures, there's always the possibility that the next penny you find could be worth far more than you ever imagined. Today, we've got an exciting video lined up for you as we explore one of the most famous and intriguing coins in American history, the 1957 Lincoln penny. While many of us have seen this coin countless times, you might be surprised to learn that the 1957 penny has a much deeper story and value than most people realize. So grab your magnifying glass and get ready to dive into the fascinating world of this penny, because we're about to reveal how much a 1957 Lincoln penny could be worth today, and trust me, you won't want to miss it. Let's take a step back in time to 1957. The United States was in a period of post-World War II prosperity, and the economy was booming. This was also a time of significant cultural change, with the rise of television, the birth of rock and roll, and the beginning of the space race. The 1950s was truly a transformative decade for the country, and the coins being minted at the time reflect the spirit of this exciting era. The Lincoln penny, introduced in 1909, was a coin that everyone recognized, featuring the iconic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln. Over the years, it became a symbol of American pride and history. The design of the 1957 Lincoln penny is no different, but it holds a special place in the hearts of collectors due to its significance during this time period. The most noticeable feature of the 1957 penny is, of course, the image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side, which has remained largely unchanged since the coin's inception. Lincoln's profile, with his signature beard and thoughtful expression, stands as a reminder of the country's struggle during the Civil War and the leadership that helped guide it through those turbulent times. On the reverse side, you'll find the familiar wheat ears, which were used as a design element from 1909 to 1958. These wheat ears symbolize abundance and prosperity, which makes perfect sense given the post-war economic boom that the US was experiencing in 1957. But here's where things get interesting: the 1957 Lincoln penny is not just another coin. For many years, the 1957 penny circulated widely, but its value has risen significantly over time, especially if you can find one in excellent condition. Most of the pennies from 1957 that you come across today are not in perfect shape. Over the decades, they've been worn down by countless transactions and the wear and tear of daily life. That's what makes a high-quality 1957 penny so rare and so valuable. The more pristine and well-preserved a coin is, the more money collectors are willing to pay for it. Now, you might be thinking, isn't a 1957 penny just worth 1 cent? Well, in most cases, yes, but not all 1957 pennies are created equal. Some of them are highly sought after due to their rarity or unique features, especially if they were minted in certain locations or have rare errors. The majority of 1957 pennies were struck in Philadelphia, but there were also coins minted in Denver and San Francisco. These mint marks can make a significant difference in the coin's value, as some collectors prefer certain mint marks over others. Additionally, some 1957 pennies are considered error coins. These are coins that have imperfections or unusual features that were created during the minting process. For example, a 1957 penny with a misprint, die crack, or other unique characteristics could be worth far more than a regular penny. These error coins are extremely popular among collectors because they represent something rare and out of the ordinary. If you happen to find a 1957 penny with a minting error, you could be sitting on a small fortune. But let's get down to the real question: how much could a 1957 Lincoln penny actually be worth? If you have a coin that is in pristine, uncirculated condition, its value could already be higher than you think. But if you happen to have one of those rare error coins or a penny from a specific mint in near-perfect condition, the price could be much higher. A high-grade 1957 Lincoln penny with an error or special mint mark has been known to sell for thousands of dollars at auctions. In fact, a particularly well-preserved 1957 Lincoln penny can fetch a price as high as $44,000, yes, you heard that right, $44,000 for a single 1957 Lincoln penny. It's incredible to think that a coin worth just 1 cent when it was first minted could be worth that much today. If you happen to have a 1957 Lincoln penny in excellent condition or one with a rare error, it could be worth far more than you ever imagined. So, if you come across one of these coins, don't just toss it aside. Take a closer look and see if it might be a hidden treasure. So, how can you tell if you've got a 1957 Lincoln penny that's worth a small fortune? Start by checking its condition. A coin that's been well preserved, with sharp details and little to no signs of wear, is going to be much more valuable than one that's been heavily circulated. Also, don't forget to check the mint mark. If your penny was minted in Denver or San Francisco, it could be worth more than the standard Philadelphia mint version. Finally, look for any errors or unusual features that could make your coin stand out from the rest. If you're unsure about the condition or value of your 1957 penny, it's always a good idea to have it professionally graded by a coin expert. They can assess its quality, rarity, and potential value, and help you determine whether it's worth selling or holding onto as part of your collection. The 1957 Lincoln penny is a fantastic example of how a small, everyday coin can become a highly valuable collectible over time. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or just someone who enjoys the thrill of finding hidden treasures, it's always exciting to think that you might be holding onto a coin that could be worth thousands of dollars. So, the next time you come across a 1957 penny, don't just dismiss it. Take a closer look. You could be sitting on a real gem. Today, we've got a treat for you. We're going to dive into the history and hidden value of a coin that's been a staple in American currency for over a century, the 1953 Lincoln penny. You might be thinking, it's just a penny, how could it possibly be worth anything? Well, think again. The 1953 Lincoln penny has a story and value that might just surprise you. Stick with us until the end, because we'll reveal just how much this seemingly ordinary coin could be worth today. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. Let's set the stage. The 1953 Lincoln penny was minted in the midst of post-war prosperity, during a time when the United States was booming economically. After World War II, the country was in a period of rapid industrial growth, and there was a shift in American culture. The 1950s was a decade of change and transformation, with the rise of the middle class, the birth of rock and roll, and a general sense of optimism. The coinage of this era tells a fascinating story of its time, and the 1953 Lincoln penny is no exception. The design of the Lincoln penny has remained largely unchanged since its introduction in 1909. On the obverse, you'll find the portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. His image has been a symbol of freedom, unity, and leadership for generations of Americans. On the reverse, the coin features the classic design of two ears of wheat, which represent the nation's agricultural roots and symbolize prosperity and abundance. This wheat design was used on pennies from 1909 to 1958, making the 1953 penny a part of a classic and beloved design that many collectors hold dear. Now, let's talk about the significance of the 1953 Lincoln penny. You may think of it as just another coin in the vast sea of circulating pennies, but that's not entirely the case. While many of these pennies were made in large quantities and circulated widely, there are a few factors that can make the 1953 penny particularly valuable. The condition of the coin is one of the most important aspects. Most 1953 pennies you come across today have been used in countless transactions over the decades, and as a result, they show the typical wear and tear you'd expect from a coin that's been in circulation for so long. However, if you happen to have a 1953 Lincoln penny in mint or near mint condition, that coin could be worth far more than its face value. Coins that are well preserved and remain in excellent shape are highly prized by collectors. In fact, a 1953 penny in perfect condition could be worth hundreds, if not thousands, of dollars, depending on its quality. But here's where things get even more interesting. Some 1953 pennies have special features or rare qualities that make them even more valuable. The 1953 penny was minted in multiple locations, and the coins from different mints can vary in value. For example, if your 1953 Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, you'll find a small D mint mark just below Lincoln's shoulder. Similarly, if it was minted in San Francisco, there will be an S mint mark. These mint marks can affect the rarity and demand for the coin, making certain versions more desirable than others. Beyond mint marks, some 1953 pennies also have unique features or imperfections that can make them more valuable. These coins, known as error coins, were made during the minting process when something went wrong. Maybe a die was damaged, or the coin was struck improperly. These types of coins are highly sought after by collectors because they're unique, often one of a kind, and have a story to tell. If you happen to have a 1953 Lincoln penny with a minting error, you could be holding onto a rare treasure that's worth much more than a regular penny. So, how much could a 1953 Lincoln penny really be worth? As I mentioned, the value of a coin depends largely on its condition, mint mark, and any potential errors. A typical 1953 penny, even in decent condition, might only fetch a few dollars. However, if your penny is in excellent, uncirculated condition, or if it features a rare minting error, the value could be significantly higher. And here's where it gets even more exciting. If you happen to have a 1953 Lincoln penny that checks all the right boxes, it could be worth as much as $48,000. Yes, you heard that right, $48,000 for a single 1953 Lincoln penny. It's incredible to think that a coin worth just 1 cent when it was minted could have grown in value to such an astonishing amount over the years. If you've got a 1953 penny in your collection, or if you find one while going through your change, it's definitely worth taking a closer look to see if it might be a hidden gem. To determine if you've got one of these valuable pennies, start by checking the condition. A coin that has been well preserved with minimal signs of wear and tear is going to be worth much more than one that's been heavily circulated. Then, check for any mint marks. A 1953 penny minted in Denver or San Francisco is going to be more valuable than the standard Philadelphia version. Finally, inspect your coin for any errors, such as double strikes, die cracks, or other minting flaws. Error coins can dramatically increase the value of a penny, especially if they're rare and unique. If you're unsure about the value of your 1953 Lincoln penny, consider getting it professionally graded. A coin expert can assess its condition, rarity, and potential value, giving you a better idea of whether it's worth keeping in your collection or selling. Professional grading can also help you determine if your coin is an error coin, which could add significantly to its value. The 1953 Lincoln penny is a perfect example of how seemingly ordinary coins can hold incredible value over time. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, you never know when you might stumble upon a coin that's worth far more than you ever imagined. So, the next time you find a 1953 penny in your pocket change, take a moment to really look at it. It could be worth a small fortune. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed learning about the 1953 Lincoln penny and its incredible value, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell so you won't miss any future coin discoveries. Who knows? Your next treasure could be right around the corner. Happy collecting!